3 podcasts every week. I can't keep up with all the knowledge. I hope you can keep up with it. And even if you can't, we've got TRS Clips, which is the highlights channel of the Ranveer Show. Subscribe, hit that like button. But first, enjoy this video. I think while you're growing up, it's very important to keep your inner child alive, but you should know what elements of your inner child you need to kill off as well. And one of my regrets in life is not actually beginning Hatha Yoga early on, which means yoga just related to the asanas. That's what Hatha Yoga means, right?
But even in the, So
Okay.
Hatha, it basically, the purpose of yoga, as I said, is achieving that cessation, that, state of clarity about what reality is. That is called Raj Yoga. Yeah. Hatha Yoga is a way of achieving that Raj Yoga. But how? As I said, there are 8 limbs of yoga, Ashtanga. So the first 2 are Yama, Niyama. Yama, Niyama are basically the value systems that we live with. Yeah.
Like be a kind person, do good, etc.
Correct. So one is values which we live with the external world, which are Yam. Yeah. So non-violence, and non-violence not just in action, even in mind. Yeah. Non-violence, non-stealing, non-attachment. All of that is one. Then Niyam are your value system with yourself, which is about Shaucha, so purity, cleanliness, Santosha, being satisfied with what you get. Not just I need more. Never, not always being in the state of greed. That state of Santosh, where you're happy. Again, when you're in a state of Santosh, you are in your parasympathetic nervous system. And then the parts of Kriya Yoga which we have. Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishwar, Pradidhan. Having some faith, Shraddha. Because when things don't go your way, what is it that you hold on to? It's usually the Shraddha that things are fine. I don't have a larger perspective, but I will be taken care of.
Faith, Shraddha. What
Correct.
else did you say?
Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is self-study.
Okay.
Studying of philosophy, reflection, all of that. Tapa is your actual practice, whatever anushtan that you've done, that you've said, I will study for 1 hour every day, or I will do asana for 1 hour every day.
Disciplines.
Okay. So those are the first 2. Yeah. The third is asana, basically becoming physically fit, because physical fitness is extremely important to achieve that state of Raj Yoga as well. If you are ill, if there is some disease in your body, you will be mentally disturbed. That is one of Rishi Patanjali also says that one of the reasons of not achieving, or rather one of the obstacles in path of achieving that state of samadhi is fatigue, illness, ignorance, delusion, distraction, all of this. So then asana is a way of achieving that physical fitness. So at least that disease free, your muscles are strong. Then you have pranayam, which is having control over your pranavayu, which is your life force, your breath. Again, why breath? Because your breath is directly linked to your parasympathetic nervous system and basically your nervous system. In Hatha Yoga, there is a saying which says, Chale vate chalam chittam, nishchale nishchalam bhavet. If your breathing is disturbed, your mind will also be disturbed. As we saw, right? And when your mind, when your breathing is in control, your mind will come back to control. Hence, when we say breathe deeper, the mind comes back to control. So then that is pranayam. Then we have pratyahara, where we start, getting all our senses inwards. So trying to take away food, trying to take away from our senses from indulgences. Then you go to meditation and dharana, dhyana, and eventually samadhi. So these are the 8 limbs. So abhi jo humne the 5 that we spoke about are what is called Bahiranga Yoga. So the external practice. Then as we discussed, the eventual goal of yoga is to turn inwards. To turn inwards, settle the mind. That is through what we called dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Dharana basically means to hold a thought. The beginning of the meditation. Where you try and focus on one aspect, and then initially you will hold it for a few seconds, that thought. Then as you keep practicing, the span of how much you can focus will keep on increasing. The more it increases, then that becomes dhyan. So desha bandha chittasya dharana, that is what they say. Basically focusing on any singular point, a singular thought. It could be anything. That is dharana. When that becomes longer, that focus becomes longer, that is dhyana, which is meditation. And then eventually is the state of samadhi, when actually that you are in a extended state of no thoughts or minimal thoughts. Now, this samadhi can be of multiple types. One is where there are some sanskaras that stay, then which is sabija samadhi, then nirbija samadhi. Anyways, that goes to a more spiritual level.
Yeah.
But that stage of achieving focus is where dhyan, dharana and dhyan start coming, where we say have right concentration, right? So now what has happened? Again, going back to our mental model, the autonomic system, when we are doing asan, our cerebellum is controlled. We are saying, thinking brain, control my cerebellum. Yeah. So you're taking the gears, giving it to the thinking brain. In the pranayam, because it is related to the emotional brain, that is where the autonomic system is initially, autonomic nervous system. The first, how do I say, the cells related to the neurons related to it are around where the limbic brain is, the parts of the limbic brain are. So it is immediately in control of the emotional brain. You take the control back and say, no, thinking brain, start managing my breathing as well. So then I get back into my parasympathetic mode. When we move to dhyan, dharana, dhyan, we are basically now strengthening our thinking brain itself. Yeah, we are strengthening that itself to start focusing more, longer, deeper. Basically, the whole exercise of yoga is to strengthen this consciousness, the awareness which comes from the thinking brain. Yeah, and ensure that our mind comes in as required. We need emotions. Emotions have their evolutionary value. And emotions are required to sustain relationships, manage relationships, nurture and all that, right? But they shouldn't come in the way of our objective decision making. They shouldn't lead to our destruction, right? That is what yoga is, to also manage your emotional system in a way that it is conducive to your growth. Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Our team spends a lot of time curating playlists just for you. So make sure you check out all the playlists that we've created on TRS Clips if you want to speed up your learning process.